back to the channel, guys. It's your boy back again. Today I have a UU match versus Andrew Z. So Andrew has Wishy-Washy, Goodra, Araquanid, Nidoking, Slowbro, and Serena, while I'm rocking Chandelure, Bulky Cradily, Bulky Rotom Wash with Defog, Banded Lycanroc, Flygon, and Toxtricity. So looking at my opponent's team, we already know Nidoking is a threat in any tier. Slowbro is more of an annoyance, especially now with that Future Sight set. But anyway, we'll do our best, so let's jump straight into this one. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into this. So I lead off with my Toxtricity, as my opponent leads off with Slowbro, shiny Slowbro, looking all cool and shit. So turn 1, I want to go for the Volt Switch, but I also know that he has that Nidoking on his team, and I don't want to go for the Volt Switch and he switches and blocks me with Nidoking. But even still, I'm like, even if he does that, we will still have a way to answer it, so let's just go for the Volt Switch anyways. So I go for the Volt Switch, and he does not switch and bring in his Nidoking. So we do a little chunk to the Slowbro, and we go out, and in comes my Cradily. Main purpose of bringing in Cradily now is so that I can get up rocks. And as you see, we come in and we take a Psychic, and that does a decent chunk, but with the leftovers we'll be able to tank a couple of those. So next turn I'm going to go straight for my Stealth Rocks and see what my opponent decides to do. So my opponent withdraws as we get our rocks up. In comes the Araquanid. This thing here is looking like a serious threat. I know it can do some good damage with a Choice Banded set with Leech Life, but we'll see how this goes. So I go for the rocks, and then I decide to get the Toxic off, get some residual damage on this thing, because even though banded ones are a serious threat, more of a threat is the Assault Vest ones that tank super effective hits that you expect them to die to. So he goes for the Leech Life, which does a good chunk of damage as well. I know he's not going for the Water move, because we all know that Cradily packs that Storm Drain ability. So this turn I'm going to switch out and bring in my Toxtricity here and clap this thing with the Electric move. So out goes Cradily, in comes Mr. Prince as he goes for another Leech Life, which we resist, and we take that very well. So he's slowly getting healed, but the poison is slowly racking up. At this point I'm thinking, okay, this thing should die to a Wise Glasses boosted Overdrive. I decided to run Wise Glasses for the extra damage, plus it helps to buff that you're probably choiced. But as we see here, this thing lives. This thing lives and takes me out with a liquidation. So down goes Mr. Prince, but Cradily's hard work doesn't go unrewarded, and Araquanid goes down to the Toxic. So it's even out here at 5-5. Here I'll decide to bring in my Flygon and see what he decides to send out on his side. So in comes the Serena. I always like this thing's design since it came out. I usually have my nickname either Cardi B or Nikki. So I go for the U-turn, get off a bit of chip. I know these things carry the Rapid Spin, and most likely my opponent is going to go for the Rapid Spin to clear my rocks. So I'm going straight into my Chandelure, and then I can retaliate with either super effective Fire Blast or switch out my moves for the Shadow Ball and catch something on the switch. So as you see, my opponent goes for the Rapid Spin, and here I expect him to withdraw, so instead of going for the Fire Blast I go straight for the Shadow Ball, and in comes Slowbro, of all persons, the one I wanted. So that thing comes in, probably expecting, most likely expecting the fire move, but not today, sir. Go straight for the shadow ball and take this thing straight to the bank. So that's 5-4, and in comes Gudra. Now we all know Gudra has good special bulk. We won't be able to 2-hit kill this thing, especially since assault vest sets are very common. So it's time to sack off Cradily here. So we're gonna go straight back into Cradily and sack it off to this Gudra. In comes my Cradily, and as you will see, my opponent goes straight for the Draco Meteor, and Cradily had no hope of living this thing. I'm sorry, but he had no hope. So down goes my Cradily to the Draco Meteor. I'm sorry, but your purpose was served. She got up my rocks, and we are even once again, 4-4. This game is just like a slap fest. I kill one, he kills one. He kills one, I kill one. It's just back to back to back. So in comes my Flygon. Looking at the rest of his team, I don't think that the Earthquake will kill. So I just decided, let me just go for the Outrage. I can at very least kill this thing and chunk something else, whatever else he brings in. So we go for the Outrage, and Gudra goes down, and I take the lead once again. So with that, we're at 4-3, and in comes Wishy-Washy. This was another Pokemon that had a very cool design, and especially the ability. This one was an underrated one, and it has some crazy stats, so this thing should work well on a Trick Room team. So in comes the Wishy-Washy. I'm still locked into Outrage, so we're going to chunk this. Let's see how much damage a Choice Scarf Outrage does. I was hoping to hit him down into range where he would have went back to single form, but unfortunately we did not do enough damage, and he retaliates and takes us down. So here now we have a predicament. Well, not really a predicament. We could go into Rotom, but if we go into Rotom, that would probably make him switch straight into his Nidoking, and I don't want to take the chance of making a bad prediction. So I come straight into Chandelure, and I can take this thing out with the Energy Ball, and even if he decides to switch, Nidoking will not survive 2 hits from Energy Ball either. So I go for the Energy Ball, and this thing goes down, and I redeem myself once again, taking the lead. So let's see what he brings in now. So in comes this Serena again, and here I'm wondering if an Energy Ball could take it out. At probably worst, I may take 2 hits to kill. So I just decided, let's just stay in and go for the Energy Ball and see how much damage this does. And as you will see, this Energy Ball is just enough to kill. So that definitely shows he was not assault vested. So that goes down, and finally here in comes the Nidoking. If the Nidoking came in earlier, I think it would have had much more impact. Well, definitely would have had a much more impact on this game, and it would have threatened my team a lot more. But here it comes in, and now obviously it's going to go for the Earth Power, so I just switch into Rotom and get away with that Levitate, and then next turn, once a Hydro Pump hits, I can take this thing out. So here we go, selecting our Hydro Pump as my opponent goes for Sludge Wave. Let's see how much damage this does. It does about a good 75%, and we retaliate back with the Hydro Pump for a clean KO and take the win here in this match. This match was definitely another one of those fast-paced slugfest. Definitely could have been harder for me if my opponent brought in that Nidoking earlier and decided to make its offensive presence known earlier, but it was still a good game. Until next time, see you guys, peace out.